Hey, let me do a quick check to see if I am indeed live. If you are watching this live training right now, drop a hashtag live. Good morning, Isaac. If you're watching the replay, comment hashtag replay, a hashtag live. Good morning, Isaac. If you're watching the replay, comment hashtag replay. Very good. So welcome to this very special live training. It's for those of you high ticket closers that are looking to master this game and do it full time. And put in the chat right now, are you closing full time or are you closing part time? And what is your goal? Okay, what is your ideal niche to close for? Okay, so when we talk about closing full time, some of you come from a job, right? Some of you have a current part-time job or current full-time job. And I want to clear this misconception right away that coming over to this game, okay, is an escape or it's an easy money path. You have to get that out of your system right now because it is not easy. Okay, if you come into this game having this expectation, this internal expectation that, oh, the reason I'm here is because my part-time job is really tough and I thought this would be easy. Okay, so if that's what you're thinking right now, you might as well quit this game today because it is not going to be easy. Okay, and then some of you have an existing business. Okay, and you're thinking, oh my God, the pandemic hit, my business isn't doing too well. Should I come and try closing? If you have this mentality of try, you will fail as well because the business is difficult. And in no way is this easy because when you talk about closing full time, this becomes your business. Okay, this becomes your business. So my question to you is, do you have the mentality that you are starting your own business? When I closed full time in 2018, I registered a company for myself in Singapore. Okay. And since then, all my transactions have been properly recorded in and out through this business. So even when COVID hit and I had to register for grants and those stuff, I could do that through the company. And in this business, you are your own boss. You set your own hours. Okay. You set your own hours. And if anything, you have to be your own tough boss, tougher than you were when you were in a job, tougher than you were when you were in your business. Can you see my screen? And the most important thing is if you have this idea of try, you will not go very far at this game. So, my first question to you today in this training is to talk about your purpose. Okay. Why are you here? Some of you will say, I'm here because I want to increase the quality of my way of life. I want to increase the standard of my living. I want to increase my income. I want to hit that 10K mark per month. Okay, I'll tell you right now that that is not enough. The reason that is not enough is because this goal is extremely external and sometimes it is superficial. So when it is superficial, what's going to happen is it is easy for you to quit and feel demoralized. Okay. During this journey, you will encounter all kinds of rejection, all kinds of failure, all kinds of expectation that you had, and then you realize that it is not that way. So, for your resilience to be extremely strong in such a way that you can bounce back every single time, you have to understand your real internal purpose. Okay. And if there is one thing that you have that could, when you have it, you can hit all your goals, put in the chat and make a guess. What do you think that thing is? My answer to you would be internal satisfaction. When I coach my students, I am extremely fulfilled. When I generate leads for my influencer, I feel extremely fulfilled. When I get on calls, I feel extremely fulfilled. And my relationship with closing is the same as my relationship with sport. I see this as a sport, and I see this as a sport to be trained. So, do you have the same mentality in terms of coming into this game? If you don't have a clear relationship, a clear purpose of what satisfies you from the inside, then after 5 rejections, after 10 rejections, and these rejections also includes uh, your applications to sales teams, your applications to businesses. When you go through those rejections, do you become stronger? Do you adapt and evolve and up your game? Or do you feel jaded and then the demoralized feeling takes over and you start to go back into your shell and you stop taking action? Yesterday, one student asked me, "Oh, you a closer as well, so you must know how we feel." Of course, I am closing full time since I have been closing full time since 2018. So I've been around for some time now. I understand the fear and the uncertainty that you feel. So the only way for you to overcome that is to realign, is to realign your relationship with closing. Which part of sales brings you alive? Which part of engaging with prospects brings you alive? Is it when you have a product that you believe in and you are able to hold space for your prospects, listen to what they're really saying, have them feel listened to, and then guide them, shift their beliefs, lead them into making the right decision and investment in themselves so that when they consume your product, their life changes and you bring new results into their life. You impact their life because on that call, if it was other salespeople, they would have said no. If it was other salespeople, they would have, you know, generated resistance. But because it was you held space for them. You asked them the right questions. You went deep into their goals. And above all, you were able to bring out that belief in them more than they could ever do for themselves at the right time. So that when they invested in themselves, they commit to their change. So I don't know about you, but this process is what satisfies me. So the moment I get on the phone, and by the way, there are all kinds of prospects, difficult prospects, curious prospects, angry prospects, calm prospects, respectful prospects, not so respectful prospects, a different kind, all shapes and sizes. Okay. But me sitting over at this end over the last 3 years, I've seen so many different kinds. And it doesn't matter what kind you are. I love you all. Whether you buy my program, buy my product, whether you ask me difficult questions, it is part of the game. But the fact that call after call after call, with each call, I become more energized. With each call, my sales skills become stronger. And it has been 3 years and I'm still going strong. So there is a very clear career path here in online remote high ticket sales. So now put in the chat, what is your relationship with closing like? In your mind, be honest with yourself. Are you still thinking it is easy money to be made on the internet? If this is your mentality, you will not last very long because you don't even know yourself. You don't even know what satisfies you. Oh, the money satisfies me. Sure, in the beginning, yes. And then afterwards, what happened? So after you make your first 10K, then you burn out and quit. Is that the plan? Or do you see yourself as a solid sales athlete? Okay, I take pride in being that sales athlete. Because of this attitude, my life has changed. Because of this attitude, I am in control of my schedule, in control of my results, in control of how I can impact people, in control of my business. So I can go to sleep every night feeling the security, feeling the peace that I know that I'm happily closing full time. And I have my own business coaching salespeople on their mindset. It is because of this attitude that I have this freedom. It is not because of this attitude that I have the freedom. Is everyone clear on the difference? So right now, if you have been following, comment hashtag following in the chat. Tell me what is your takeaway so far, which part is relevant, or did I go off track? Because if these two fundamental pieces are not being addressed, then the whole thing is going to be misaligned. So right now, I would like you to put in the chat. I would like you to put in the chat, what is your goal? And every time I ask this question, some of you are going to feel, I don't even know what is my goal. Okay, I didn't know as well. And what if the right place is a choice? What if the right place is a choice that after you choose and after you spend some time in this place and you realize that, oh, I need to pivot, or you realize that I need to adjust, or you realize that I am in the right place. You see, in 2018, the 2nd of April, during this time, I had $2 to my name, my final $2. I had invested everything in all the sales training that you have paid for as well. Okay. And this was the time where my back was against the wall. I had just retired from sports and I had no idea going into my 30s. I'm 32 now, and this was 3 years ago. I was 28, 29-ish. And I was like, okay, I'm nearing the end of my 20s. Do I want to go into my 30s, still selling my time for money, still working my ass off for $50 an hour, breaking my back for that hourly pay, working as a martial arts instructor? And I told myself, no, I have to do something different. And I'm going to go for a big goal. And when I wrote down this goal of a 10K USD per month, I didn't even believe what I was writing. I didn't even recognize this line. Okay. Because I think in Singapore dollars. So for me to even think of 10K USD, I couldn't even process. But I told myself, never mind. I'm just going to make the choice right now. And not only that. Okay, so I want you to put your goal in the chat right now. When you do close full time, okay, because you're either watching this live or watching this replay because you have this goal to close full time. And I know at least 3/4 of you in this group joined because you want to close full time. Okay, so when it comes to goal setting, what most people do is they like to set goals that are general. And the reason why we set general goals is because if it is ambiguous, then we can say that we are achieving it, or we can say that we are trying, or we can say that we are starting. And that way we'll never fail, because for some people, their goals are sacred. You know what it means? It means it is so sacred that I should not see it. Does that make sense? Because if I see it, I have to face it. And if I face it, I might fail. And failing is painful. So I am not going to see the whole thing. So a real goal is specific, measurable, amazing, and it is a clear outcome. Okay, it is specific, measurable, amazing, and it is a clear outcome. To say that, oh, I want to feel more faith, I want to feel more joy, I want freedom. That is not specific. That is not measurable. And is that amazing to you? Okay, don't say something that's amazing to your imagination. Okay, and is it a clear outcome? If you were to write your outcome on a piece of paper and you showed it to a stranger, would they have the same vision as you? Or would they picture something completely different? Okay, so a proper goal is specific, measurable, amazing, and it is a clear outcome. So when I sat down and I pictured that I'm going to have my own apartment, my own place to focus so that I can take calls without getting disturbed. That was my goal. Okay, and 10,000, that's measurable. So after today's call, what I want you to do is to do the same thing and take out a journal, open up a blank new page, okay, and map out your entire plan to transition to closing full time. Okay, once your goal is specific, measurable, amazing, and it's a clear outcome, you will not have it in the clouds, and from time to time say that my goal sometimes is to have freedom. My goal sometimes is to have more money, because that way you're still keeping your goals sacred. You don't bring it down, you don't face it, and then you never have to take action. And 1 year from now, 6 months, 12 months from now, when we meet again, and I ask you, what is your goal? You can still say, oh, I'm still going west. You can go west forever, and you can never stop going west. Okay, I get it. Sometimes facing your real goals is intimidating, because facing your real goals means you have to look inside and face your limitations. And if you have not trained yourself to do that, there can be a lot of fear to face this reality that, hey, maybe I'm just someone who can't focus. Maybe I'm just someone who can't see through things. And it takes a lot of courage to face our limitations. And the only reason that you might feel afraid is because you haven't claimed your mental power. Okay, and it doesn't matter what kind of the words that you use. In the end, it is about your mental focus that enables you to create something out of the invisible. Okay, it is your mental focus. So take a piece of paper and we are going to start training to create that focus. Because you can use all the fancy words you want. I don't know, my dreams is to blah blah blah. You can keep saying that, but is it tangible? Can you make it into a practical path that 1 week from now, when I check in with your progress, you can clearly show the action steps and the metrics and the measurable stuff. Okay, look at my map, for example. I started with the end in mind. I have my own place, put all my books, silence. I can take calls peacefully, no one to disturb me. And my income goal, the minimum I knew was 10K a month, end of this year, right? And I want you to look at the goals. Okay, when I say specific, measurable, amazing, you can see the time when I sat down was 4:51 p.m., 2nd of April. And I was going through this free program. It was called Marketing Confidence. Okay. It was one of the bonuses from the copywriting programs I bought. And this was just an exercise that they taught. So in April, that month, what am I going to do? I didn't say, oh, I want to have freedom and joy. I didn't give all that vague bullshit. Okay, because that means I don't have to do anything. I told myself this week, okay, I'm going to do one peer review every week, which means that I'm going to find the client. I'm going to do, because I was a copywriter at the time, and my end goal was to join our favorite sales program, 2005. I didn't have the money. And I was like, how do I make money with copywriting? And the program said, oh, you do spec work, you write for free, right? So I would find one company to target and I would write free work for this company. And then I would take my free work, I'll go into the copywriting forum and share my work there and say, any critique? Any of you legends would like to critique my work? And some of them would drop by and they would critique and I would improve. So I told myself the whole of April, I would just focus on dialing one concrete thing in my copywriting game. Put a one in the chat if you're following, because a lot of you are in the air saying, oh, I want this general goal. Give me a one in the chat. Okay. I told myself in April, I'll be very, very practical, very realistic. And say in April, I'm just going to dial in this one piece, which is to fucking practice, to write, to study and write and understand what is a fucking headline, what are bullet points, how do you close, how do you show proof, how do you write to hit their emotional triggers, what are emotional words, how do you transition, what are the different frameworks, study, practice. You see the notebooks behind me, countless of notebooks just from copying the control sets. Copy. April. Meanwhile, What are the other copywriters doing? I have no idea. And then in May, I told myself I'm going to continue with my spec work once a week. And you know, some companies, they just don't reply. And some they say nasty things to me. And I just continue. I just continue. Okay. Why? I was making myself good. What is up, Mr. Shane? How are you, my man? And then I told myself, now I'm going to take the best spec work that I feel I can throw into the market. I'm going to put it on my website. And back then, I owned this domain called the martial arts copywriter.com. And my pen name was, I forgot, I think I had two, like Sean Dwayne and like uh, Sean Levesque. Like I was just messing around. And this is my copywriting name. And I put it on my website. And I told myself, May, I'm just going to dial in one thing, just one thing, and that is my portfolio. Okay, just my portfolio. Put a 2 in the chat if you are following right now, because it has been 2 months. Okay, and I've got 2 things dialed in right now. I've practiced for 60 days nonstop, full time, sitting in my chair. I couldn't move anywhere because I was injured at the time. 2 fucking months. I've dealt in like 10, 20, 30 pieces of spec work while I don't know what the other copywriters are doing. I have built my website, my portfolio is up. I'm no longer a green copywriter with no experience in 2 months. In the third month, and this is following the plan that you are seeing right now, I stuck with the fucking plan. Okay, I stuck with the plan. Okay. I stuck with the plan that you're seeing that I sat down to draft. And in month 3, so April, May, June, I told myself that I'm going to make 3,000 USD. And I want you to understand that at the time when I sat down, 4:51 p.m., 2nd of April, when I sat down and I said, June, I'm going to make 3K, I had no idea how I was going to do it. I didn't even believe I was going to do it. But what I'm telling you now is if you write your goal with a clear deadline, you will achieve it. The same thing happened for me in 2019, 2020, this year. And each time I would always surpass my goal and I wouldn't know why. I just knew it would happen. You understand what I'm saying? So, what happened in June was I followed what the program said to reach out to my network, to send out 50 emails a day. And it was so demoralizing because no one would reply. Until a friend of mine, he used to be a student in martial arts, and he was most recently certified to be a trainer. So I called him and I said, do you know how to get clients? Do you know how to build a website? He said, no. I said, would you like me to do it for you? $500. He said, sure. And then I thought about it and I realized that he doesn't know a lot of things. So I told him, hey, what if I throw in 10 sessions of consultation to show you the best way to use my website that I'm going to create for you, to use the copy that I'm going to create for you, to build an autoresponder email list, to build a lead magnet, to attract clients in the same way that I did when I was a martial arts instructor. Total price, 3,000. Do you want the 500 one or you want the 3,000? He said, I want the 3,000. And with that, he paid me and I hit my goal for June. I didn't know how I was going to do it. And using that money, I invested in our favorite sales program. Okay. And when I got in, I studied hard because the whole plan was to become a full-time closer so that I have my time freedom, right? So now it's July And I landed my first influencer 6 weeks in the program. And I started closing. August, I started making money. August, I closed my first 12K deal. Okay, and that continued all the way to, by the end of the month, by the end of the year, okay, my influencer tells me, you've made 10K your first month as a sales director. Did you realize? And I said, no, I did not realize. And not only that, I was 1 month ahead of schedule. This thing was in November that year. And I had planned to do it in December, but I hit my goal 1 month in advance. And remember, just in April that year, this was still an impossible thing. So now I hope you understand that when I say that your goals have to be specific, measurable, amazing, and a clear outcome, if you can write it down and you can map out the full strategy to make this transition. April, was I fearful? Yes. April, I was still crying every other night. I had just broken up with my 2-year girlfriend at the time. I was super attached to that relationship. It was my first one. I was very emotionally broken down. So was I fearful? Yes. Did I have panic attacks? Yes. May, was I uncertain and doubtful and fearful? Yes. June, was I feeling demoralized? Yes. Every step of the way I was. But I knew that if I didn't bring my goals down and look at the goals, I would never have it. I would never face it. And I know for a lot of you, when you bring your goals down, you just feel the same kind of fear, the same kind of overwhelm, because you know there are some internal limitations that you know yourself too well. So a lot of you just take the goal and you put it back up in the sacred zone, and then you just tell yourself, oh, my goal is to be happy. So you never have to face your goals. So what I'm telling you now is to grow the balls to bring it down. Whether you're male or female, grow the balls to bring it down, and you'll make it specific, measurable, amazing, and outcome-based. You fucking map it out to tell yourself with each month what are the specific steps you are going to dial in, that one piece each month, so that the whole thing, when you zoom out, it makes sense. Because by definition, if I hit everything that I could achieve in April, by definition, I would have what it takes to do the thing in May. And if in April and May, I fulfill the things that I set out to do, by definition, in June, I will hit my 3K goal. Whether it's selling copy for 500 a piece, 6 times, or selling copy 100 a piece for 30 times, I don't care. But the fact that I can map it out and I can plan, it means I will do it. So this is how you turn your new belief into results. So my challenge to you is that there must be a clear timeline. If you don't do this exercise and you have seen this training, because you put yourself out there, created the intention, the opportunity. Yes, Shane, very well said. My challenge to you is to have a clear timeline, that every month you know exactly what are the clear amount. You might not know how to do it, but at least you know what is the core pillar that you want to secure in that month. So that in 3 months, in 4 months, I hit my goals in 4.5 months. But if I didn't do this, you could give me 3 years, and today I would still not be able to hit that goal. This is the kind of focus it takes to do this full-time with no boss, with no support. So if you don't have this map and you're looking at this training, my question to you is why? Why do you not have this map? Are you afraid? Are you lazy? Do you feel, are you being held back by some limiting beliefs? If none of those reasons apply, I want to see your mission roadmap in this group once you've done this training. Okay, put a comment, #mission if you got this. If you want to take on, hey, if you're not going to upload it, then don't comment. Okay, but if you comment #mission, show me your version of this. The next thing I want you to understand is this is a business, it is not a job. So, are there sacrifices to be made here? Definitely. To sit down to practice every single day. I had all my meals in front of the computer. I didn't take breaks. Okay. And then you might say, I don't know how. I don't know how to make a video. I don't know how to do copywriting. I don't know how. It is never a problem to how. Today, with the internet, if you are truly determined, there's no way a lack of how is going to stop you, and you know it. Yes, Isaac. Isaac said #mission. Yeah, I feel nervous a bit. So congratulations. Now you're honest. That is how it's like. Facing your goals is intimidating. That's what it is. But which one is more intimidating? 1 year from now, you're still in the same place, or 1 year from now, you have some progress. And if you can go from here to here to here, by the time I hit this 10K goal, I wasn't happy. I was angry at myself because I was like, hey, couldn't you have written like 12K or something? Like at least you go, because when I got there, I realized that I could have gone even higher. Ain't that a bitch? That's what Bob Proctor said. You go here, you realize you can go higher. And I realized that he was right. So it's never a how problem. How do I face my limiting beliefs? I know that I can't focus. I know that I can't see things through. So it's never a how problem. It is an internal decision. Okay, and if you want more help after this training, I will give you an opportunity to do that. But for now, I want you to write down your personal declaration on your roadmap. Okay, so it could be something like this. I, Sean Sena, fully commit myself to my goal of hitting my first 10K month in commissions by the end of December 31st, 2021. Okay. Every month, I will focus on dialing in one core piece of my overall strategy and hit those milestones for each respective month. I will make sure that every day my schedule is aligned with those weekly targets and monthly goals. I am a six-figure closer. This is something similar to the declaration that I made in 2018. Okay, so I want to challenge you to do the same. Okay, and put a hashtag, okay, declaration in the comment if you are committed to creating your own personal declaration. So it is specific, it is measurable, it is a clear outcome. Okay, and I know my identity. It's going to feel exciting, intimidating, but if you don't face this version of yourself, then when is the real you going to come out? Okay, so give me your map, give me your declaration. Okay, and if you do this right, by the end of the year, you will see this, your version of an acknowledgement from the universe. Okay, April, it was fearful. May, it was fearful. June, it was fearful. In fact, in September, I lost all my influences, and I was like, starting from scratch again. Okay, and still I focused. Okay, so this is not a job. This is not an easy internet game. There will be highs and lows. You will be taken on a ride on this journey, on an exciting ride, okay? Which means you need to have the resilience, to fail forwards. Okay? This is where 90% of the closers, those guys that have started with me, they are no longer around. Why? They've gone back to a job, okay? They have given up. Whatever they said in the beginning, it doesn't apply today. All words, all hot air. Okay, why does this happen? It's the burnout monster. So when I keep saying you have to focus, you have to be consistent, how is this different from hustling to the point of burnout? Okay, my answer to you is very simple. It's creating that balance. This is your best friend when you want to go the distance. Every athlete knows when to peak, when to rest. Resting, pampering yourself, celebration is all part of balance. It's not part of discipline. Discipline, a lot of people think, oh, discipline means I got to work, 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 work. No. Sleep is discipline as well. If you follow my stories every day, you'll see that I sleep on time every night. I get up on time every day. This comes from my training as an athlete. Every athlete knows that you need to fucking sleep. True or false? So rest is part of discipline. Pampering yourself is part of discipline. Giving yourself the right fuel mentally, emotionally, in terms of your environment is discipline. Knowing who to hang out with and who to walk away from is discipline. Knowing when to say no, when to say yes is discipline. So put a comment hashtag balance in the chat if you're able to follow what I mean when I say balance. Okay, this is what I mean when I say intelligent discipline. Knowing how to plan, knowing how to plan for your work, knowing how to plan for your rest, the right fuel, who to hang out with, your environment, your mental environment. There's a big difference, true or false. Okay, so once again, I want to remind you that in your map, you want to pick 3 to 5 core areas. Okay, you can see here, area 1, I was focused. Now, it could be different for you. If you know that the first month, you need to work on your mindset, then your first month, it's going to be on your mindset. Specifically, which area? Procrastination, self-belief, write it down. It's not going to be the same as mine. Okay, but I want you to pick 3 to 5 core areas. Is it to build up your own brand, your own website as a closer? How are you going to separate yourself? Okay, is it to build up your lifestyle schedule? Is it to know exactly how many applications you're going to send each day? Pick 3 to 5 core areas that you want to dial in with each month and put it inside your map so that you know each month what you will be focusing on. And this whole idea that, hey, if I write it down, I'm going to fail. No, if you write it down, you can refine it. That is the biggest change that you have to make. Okay, you say, Sean, if I write down September, I have to focus on my focus. What if I fail? Now, what is your definition of fail? What is your definition of fail? You can only fail if you quit. Like all those guys that started with me, they are not here, so they have failed, but they have quit. Have I failed? Oh yes, I fail every day. Have I really failed? Or am I growing? So what is your definition of fail? So it all goes back to your personal internal definitions, how you were raised, how you were brought up, how you were conditioned. It's your relationship with wealth, success, and failure. If these things are not properly aligned, no amount of script can save you. No amount of sales training can save you. True or false? So this is why I say that it doesn't matter how hard you work. This was taken from my notes from the paradigm shift event that I went that Bob Proctor was at. If internally your definitions, your relationship with success, wealth, and abundance, that conditioning, that software internally, the way that your parents raised you, the way that you were conditioned to think about failing, money, wealth, if those files are not changed and you're still investing in more programs because the program said, oh, we have this amazing framework, this amazing structure. And yes, they are important because mindset is why, how, and what. So the what and the how, extremely important. But if the source is telling you that, hey, if you make too much money, you're going to lose it. Remember back when your parents made too much money and they didn't have the time for you? So if you make too much money, you're going to be like them. Like, I don't know whatever your old childhood story is saying, but if that programming is running the system, what's going to happen is every single time you're going to push your success away. You can't escape your own programming. The reason you are here today is because of your programming. Okay, so right now, I want to do a recap. You must know why you're here. You must know how you're going to play this game. Okay, and you must know what, okay, you're going to work on. This is the real mindset. Why, how, and what. So far, are you clear on the overall idea of, I want to play this game full time. What should I be prepared for? No false expectations, no ridiculous 7-figure in 7 weeks mentality, no easy money mentality. Take full ownership of your closing business. Take full ownership of your plan to win. Take full ownership of which area you want to dial in. If you suck at prospecting, then face it. If you suck at mindset, then face it. If you suck at branding yourself well, then face it. If you don't face it, when are you going to face it? Okay, this is the raw reality of closing full time. Okay, so far, does anyone have any questions? If you're watching the replay, I know when I'm awake, everyone else is asleep. So later on, when you get up and you see this, okay, for those of you that want my personal help to guide you through, I have already begun my beta coaching program, 6-figure closer. I have a bunch of students that I'm taking them through this process of building their career. A lot of them are already starting to land their first sales gigs. Okay, but it is a work in progress. You have to train your fundamentals to go the distance. I'm not talking about 6 months and then you quit. I'm talking about a lifelong career in this game. There is a clear career path for us online remote high ticket sales professionals. There is a clear career path. Okay, so I'm only going to open up 2 more slots, but I can't take on any more new students at the moment. I want to speak with 2 of you that are absolutely determined to build this career. Okay, and what I'll do on this call is after you're done with your roadmap, no fear, no overwhelm. I'm going to look through your map, okay, and we're going to refine your map. And this call is going to help me decide if we are a fit to build this career together, where I am the coach, you are the athlete. I'm the coach, you are the athlete. Now, previously, you could have said that, oh, I have the fear and I don't know how to do it. Okay, but if I'm your coach, there is no question that will go unanswered. There is no problem that we cannot overcome together. I do have expectations of my students. You must be absolutely, passionately, exclusively determined. You must be proud to be a full-time sales specialist. You must be coachable. Coachable means able to absorb what I teach and let it stay in you. You must be a strong decision maker. Don't get into this program and then, uh, I don't know how to make a video. Okay, if you're like that, don't even start. Okay, just go back to a job. Okay, in your job every day you can go, oh, I don't know. Okay, once you get into this game, I need your full focus. You need to get your shit together. Okay, you need to be coachable, decisive, resourceful. You must be absolutely determined to be the best, most focused, most successful version of yourself. Yes, the expectations are high. Okay, that's what it is. Otherwise, I don't want to get your expectations up and you think it's easy. You think I'm going to do this for you or things like that. No, all my students are working very hard to build themselves up from ground up. Some of them don't have the belief. Some of them don't have the skill. And this is like a martial art. It is a training process. So if that's you, I want you to head over to SenaLink and book a time right now, immediately. Okay, and lock your slot in. I'm going to walk you through how I do it with my students and show you the entire back end of my program so you know what you're signing up for. Okay, and you have clear expectations of the why, the how, and the what, so that by the end of this year, Christmas, when all your friends are celebrating, you are a different man because you know that you finally got your shit together and you have true freedom, not because you bought it, but because you earned it. You earn it with your focus, you earn it with your discipline, you earn it with your mindset. And you know, all these things, it is not just exclusive to closing. If you take this same skill set and you go over to do copywriting and you go over to do drop shipping, or you go back to the job, do you realize that what I've just taught you in today's class, it applies to every aspect? If you can't have that focus, then you can't succeed at anything. So your attitude should be to be refining your fundamentals, your consistency, your focus. These are the foundations. And then whatever you want to do with all this skill set, these base foundations, that is up to you. So I'm going to leave this on for another 5 minutes to see if I have any questions. If you watch this at a later time, okay, feel free to type in your comments, your questions, your feedback as well. Even if you do not hop on that call, okay, it doesn't matter. The important thing is if you have watched up to this point, you need to have a plan right now. Because I know that you have joined this group, you've followed my work, and you have stayed for 1 hour in this training, okay, 50 minutes, for a reason. Okay, there is a part in you that knows you can do it. You just need to know how. You just need someone to guide you. Okay. So, questions. Okay, unless you're at a place where, oh, I don't know what questions I have. Okay. Now, if that's the case, then when the questions flash into your mind throughout the rest of the week, come back to this video or send it to me, because I know for a fact that you have stayed up to this point because there is a part in you that knows that you can do it. So for those of you that are on the fence in terms of I want to do closing full time and I'm confused. Okay, put in the chat, what are you confused about? Are you confused about how the game works? The game is very simple. As a high ticket closer, your growth is always tied not to your influencer. A lot of people think that I'm in closing, my success depends on my influencer. True and not true. The real cause is never your influencer. The real cause is never your leads. The real cause is you. If you have dedicated to make yourself good through your study, your synthesizing, and your training, your stock as a closer, your value as a closer, because of your ability to consistently deliver wins, just like a sales athlete. Your stock as a closer is only going to grow. And once you have 1 to 3 gigs under your belt, that might be 6 to 9 months in the game, you will get into a position where the problem is not whether you can make 10K, but the problem is whether you can find a team that is fully aligned with your values, your lifestyle, and how you can grow this career that you have built. Maybe it's starting a sales team. Maybe it's doing a JV with your influencer. Maybe it's doing some kind of a deal where you're sharing profits together. Maybe it's starting your own thing. So for myself, I've gotten to a point where I'm not just closing full time, but I have a diversified portfolio. I have built a sales team before. I'm currently building a team for my influencer. I'm closing for my influencer. That's already 2 streams of income. I'm having my own coaching program. That's 3. I'm helping other influencers lead their salespeople, not as an in-house trainer, but an out-of-the-house trainer. That is 4. Okay, my martial arts business programs, products, that's 5. So in the beginning, what was I? Appointment setter. In the beginning, what was I? Sales specialist. But as you grow and you get more gigs under your belt, this experience that you have to solve more and more problems, your stock as a closer is only going to grow. And now your name, you can see my name, Sean Sena. Now today, it has become a brand. And I built this from the ground up. I built this from the bottom. So you have to start somewhere. And this is how you play the game. Appointment setter, closer, team leader, sales director, VP of sales. You start to partner up with your company. You start your own thing. Okay, then you have a diversified portfolio. This is a very clear career path. But in this game that we play, there is a clear way to progress upwards. So the long game for me is extremely worth it. I don't know about you, but I don't feel the same progression. I don't feel the same security in a job. So it really depends if your definition of success is to stay in a job or to be a master at your craft. Doesn't matter what it is. Okay, for me, I've chosen high ticket closing because it's within my zone of genius. If you watch this at a later time, drop your comments, drop your questions, drop your concern. And as always, if you are ready to have that call, okay, head over to seansena.link, okay, and book a time and let's address your strategy. I'll share with you my program as well, how I've helped my students, okay, and we can see if we are fit to work together for the next 90 days so that by the end of this year, you will be celebrating, not because it is a distraction, but you'll be celebrating because you got your shit together. I've had so much fun creating this training for you. And for those of you that get up later and watch the replay, I hope you have as much fun seeing the light, seeing the path, and seeing how this game is played. Until next time, it's Sean Sena. Have a great day.